I was completely alone in the old house when I first heard that untouchable voice sift through the rooms. My sandwich stopped halfway to my mouth. I listened. The shimmery harmonies of Crosby, Stills, and Nash sang helplessly hoping, but there was an added shimmer. Like that. Like atonal, high, like piercing, but like just out of the range of hearing. I stopped and I got up and I went around the rooms. There were like 6 rooms downstairs in this big old house, and wherever I went, I heard it the same amount. We had speakers all through the downstairs, and it never changed its spatial orientation or volume. That song ended. The next song began, and it appears to be a long, but this time, because it was not that shimmery harmony, the high atonal voice sifted through clearer. I bolted upstairs and I turned off the record player. It was a record player that was supposed to turn off after it came back around, but that part was broken. But that didn't stop us. We just put on a record and just let it play while we were downstairs, because it was this big old house. I should tell you about the house. It sat up on a hill above Old Highway 15 in Bath, New York. It was tall. It had a big attic, had turrets on either side, great big doors that went up, and then double doors, great big steps that went up, and then double doors that opened and went into a hallway where there was a stairway that went up and had a landing partway through, and then went up to the upstairs. There were glass doors, double glass doors over here, 4 consecutive rooms attached by doors on that side, double glass doors over here. This will become important later. Double glass doors over here with a dining room that led into the kitchen by a swinging door. I was there staying with 2 folks, Jesse and Mari. All of us had been taken in by the same con man who had said he was going to start a craft co-op, and we moved there to help him do that. And then one night we got a call that he had told his wife and their 2 small children he was going out for cigarettes, and then didn't come back and disappeared, apparently with a 14-year-old high school sophomore. So this was a guy we had trusted enough to relocate into, kind of a dream, like a utopian dream. We'd have like a little community and we'd have a craft co-op, but he had taken us in. It's like, are there people that can know what you want to see so well that they can project it? But we got together and we took care of her toddler while she took care of her infant and figured out what was going to happen next. They had a 3-year-old son themselves. So I didn't mention this music incident. And then one day, we was downstairs with Mari, and Jesse was out on errands, and Mari was washing dishes, and I was chopping vegetables. We were getting ready for dinner. And we're listening to Ventura Highway in the sunshine, right? And it's got that, and that came around. I wasn't looking at Mari, and all of a sudden I heard a dish into the sink. And I looked over, and she was like, she said, "Do you hear that?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Have you heard it before?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Me too. Don't tell Jesse, it'll freak him out." As I raced up the stairs, it was like it was coming from out of the walls and the ceiling, the floor. I could hear it, but I couldn't locate it. I turned off the record. We didn't tell Jesse. About 6 days later, Jesse and I were moving a table from the front room to one of the back rooms. All these doors weren't aligned, so we're, jostling it around. And I think it was Dylan's Ballad of a Thin Man was on. And, something is happening, but you don't know what it is. Do you, Mr. Jones? And Jesse stopped. The table ran into my stomach, and he looked at me, he's like, "Do you hear that?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Have you heard it before?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Don't tell Mari, it'll freak her out." So luckily, the toddler was back with his mom before things got really weird. We were still going to go ahead with the craft co-op, even though this guy, whose name was Tracy, was actually named Arnie Andrews. So maybe that's why he got weird. And we'd tell people where we were. We'd say, we're going to start this business there. It was going to be a retail store and stuff like that. And it's going to be workshops. And they'd say, well, good luck. Jesse and Mari are great. But, hopefully they'll make it. Well, what do you mean, hopefully they'll make it? Well, every couple that's lived in that house in the last 50 years has gotten divorced. Things got weirder after a while. I decided to leave, and there was a bunch of other stuff that happened. But time's up. But a few months later, I called Jesse, and I said, hey, how's it going? And we talked for a while, and I said, well, can I talk to Marty? He said, she's not here. And then I said, well, tell her I said hello when you see her. What's she up to? He said, I have no idea. We split up.